Hi, my name is Marquise Wright. I am the assistant head basketball coach at Wheeler High School in Marietta, Georgia. And I'm going to talk to you guys today mainly about the three psychological interventions that I plan on using or use to enhance change in my coaching style to help my players to be successful. Um, the first that I found that was very intuitive was self-talk. I have a player on my team, Darius Gaddy, who is currently between homes. He has a problem with understanding who he is. He's not very transparent in who he is and who he's becoming. And the issue is, I told him, I said, look, you're gonna have to learn how to be the type of teammate that's gonna affect change. And he's a big man. This is basketball we're talking about. He's a big man, and we have a lot of guards who like to shoot the ball. So I said, look, if you want to get the ball, you're gonna have to find a way or make a way to be effective in the game to where they want to give you the ball. So he gets down on himself a lot. So in the book, in Weinberg and Gold, chapter 16, figure 16:3, it shows that a lot of self mutilation, what an idiot I am. I will never win now. And that's personal. Everything is personal to these kids at age 16, 17. And they don't inflict positive change for themselves. Everything is so negative all the time. And even if we win a game, these kids are still, but what did I do? I didn't score enough. I didn't do enough. Uh, so, as far as adding this as an intervention, I would say that self talk is very, very important. He says all the time that I'm not going to get the ball anyway, so why should I try? So I told him, I said, look, here's a solution to that. When they shoot the ball, because they're not going to make every shot, so when they shoot, you carve out space. He's a big guy. He's 6'8", 250. So I said, look, when you get the ball, you carve out space, make room to grab a rebound, offensive rebound, and don't pass it back out. Go right back up with that rebound and try to score. So that way you can affect change for yourself. You can build your self confidence. And when you do score, you say, yo, I can do this. I can do this. I can score every time they shoot the ball. Every time they miss, I can score. And that type of self talk, that kind of positive reiteration that I've kind of given him to be effective in the game could be can enhance his concentration and focus to show that he can be a big part of this unit, big part of this team. Um, Self-talk does have many forms, as mentioned in Weinberg and Gold. Uh, Positive, instructional, or negative. So it's a choice I believe you have to make. You have to choose to be positive as opposed to negative. It's too easy to be negative. So in positive interventions of self-talk, you have to say to yourself, how can I affect change in a positive way, not only for myself but also for my teammates? And I reiterated this information to him to help him understand. And he's not going to get it the first time. It's constant, consistent repetition of him understanding the same thing until he decides to do it for himself. Um, uh, the limitations to self-talk, I don't believe there really are any, to be honest with you, because it's just about communication. The more communication you have, the more influence you have, the more transparent you can be, the easier it is to affect change. So if somebody has self-talk, like for me, instance, when I played professional, I used to pick somebody out on the other team, their best player, during warm-ups, and I would say, and this is a little outside of the box. I would say, hey, did you say something to me? What did you say to me? And they'll be like, I didn't say anything. And I'll say, yes, you did. You said, and I knew they didn't say anything, but I knew I was a very finesse player. I wasn't aggressive as a player, so I had to figure out a trigger or a way to find my aggressiveness. So I would make up something in my head, so I can self-talk my way into being aggressive during that game. So what I would do is I would pick out another player on another team, and I would go at him. I say, but in the warm-ups before the game even started, and I said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get you. It's gonna be me and you. It's gonna be me, not you. And he had no clue of what was going on, and all I was doing was psyching myself out to be aggressive in that game so I can fulfill my full potential to be a good player. And then during the warm up, I would also say, "There's no way he's gonna beat me." And he normally would be the best player on the other team. I'm gonna get him, coach. I want to check him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. And that was my mentality. That was my mindset. So self-talk is very important as far as motivation, as far as intrinsic value, understanding who you are and the potential of the player that you can possibly be. Um, the second thing that I would implement would be relaxation. I think relaxation is important because if you are trying to find yourself or find balance in yourself, it helps with your mental toughness and your and understanding how to solidify yourself as a player. Uh, you have to have balance. You can't go 100% all out and not have a time of recovery. And recovery that is not just about physical; it's about mental. Sometimes you have to have mental recovery. In order to have mental recovery, you have to be able to slow down or understand your body and say, you know what, this is the time that there is to slow down. And relaxation um, normally deals with the understanding of how training can be conducive to your success. So relaxation training, as mentioned in Weinberg and Gold, can be useful for relieving pain and stress, which usually accompanies severe injury and the injury recovery process. Athletes also can use relaxation techniques to facilitate sleep and reduce general levels of tension. This is important because when you're looking to, like for instance, we had games back to back Friday and Saturday this past weekend. And if you don't get rest and recovery from the Friday game, you're not going to be very effective in the game on Saturday. So learning how to be able to facilitate sleep and reduce tension and take care of your body allows you to be able to be productive on the court when it's your time. Uh, LeBron James spends $1.5 million on average a year to reserve his body to be able to perform at a high level since he's been in the league, and he's been in the league in a long time. So to still be able to perform like he does, relaxation, recovery, retention of your body has to be a mandatory thing for you to be able to be productive, and he does that very well. And I've noticed in an article that I saw about mental toughness and relaxation. If you go to mentaltoughnesstrainer.com/athletes relax, you will see a small video on how athletes, if they want to go to the next level in their sport, whether it be high school, college, or professional, have to have a certain amount of short-term periods of relaxation to be able to be productive. And in these excerpts, even if it's just 30 seconds of learning how to breathe normally and naturally, I tell my athletes all the time, if they run a suicide, you can't be sporadic with your breathing. You can't. If you're running fast, it doesn't mean breathe fast. If you're running fast, and here's an example, if I'm running fast, I'm running fast. Watch, why am I breathing fast? If I run fast, I can still breathe calmly to save and reserve energy. And that's in the sport specific aspect of it. If I'm just thinking generalization of how to maintain my breathing and understand my body and my breathing, I can calm myself down and relax during my exercises or conditioning or whatever the case may be. Now, if it deals with actual just relaxation and recovery, you say to yourself, okay, you know what? I have to be able to sustain over the long period of time. So we're looking at longevity as opposed to the here and now. So if I want to sustain throughout the whole season, relaxation and recovery is a big part of me being successful, to be able to be consistent and give maximal progress out of my players. So if I'm analyzing this, I would say, you know what, the reason why I chose this intervention is because it's huge to understand how I can implement relaxation to give my players consistency over a period of time. The positive part of relaxation is that it gives balance. I love balance when it comes to athletes. Basketball seasons, especially in high school, are kind of long compared to maybe a football season. Football seasons go 8 games, 12 games. Basketball seasons, if you're lucky enough to go to the state championship, go 25, 30 games. Uh, Regular season is 25 games. We play on a national schedule, so we go 30, 35 games a lot of times. So recovery and relaxation kind of fall hand in hand as far as how to make sure you get the best out of your athletes. We stretch, we do yoga, we do a lot of recovery drills to be able to get the maximum potential out of our athletes. Um, the limitations to relaxation, I don't see any unless you're doing more relaxing than producing. So if you're having a losing season, you're out there relaxing and doing yoga and overdoing just breathing regimens, and you're not winning. Maybe you need to dial back on the relaxation and dial up on the self-talk and the motivation and concentration of what to do. And that leads me into my last one, concentration. When we focus on concentration, um, we have to understand that there are maybe certain cue words or things that we have to do to affect change in concentration. And the best thing that we do as far as concentration is simulation training. So because we play a lot of a high level of schedule, we have to simulate and do a lot of game film and understand how to give our athletes the best opportunity to be successful. So we simulate a lot of when we watch game film. We simulate a lot of other games, other teams that we're about to play to make sure that we're in the right position to be successful. So we do a lot of like if it's 5 seconds on the clock left, we'll say, look, this is our situation with 5 seconds left and we're down by one. And we got to score to get a bucket, or we're down by three, we're down by two, and we need a 3-pointer. Here's different simulations that we can use to enhance our opportunities to be able to be successful on the court. So simulation training is a big part of that. So if you look in Weinberg and Gold, it'll state that this type of practice, simulation training, that coaches are trying to simulate an actual competitive environment, is very useful to be able to give your players an in-game idea or perspective of how to be successful. I like simulation training to help improve concentration, and you'll have certain cue words to help them understand. Like if we say we want to press, we'll go yellow, and yellow is a 2-2-1 press that we'll implement when we're trying to get back in the game and affect change, to be able to say, okay, you know what, we want to make sure we get the ball back and are able to score effectively, or speed the game up, or speed the process of the game up. So we do that a lot of times to be able to affect those changes in the game. We also are very big on using non-judgmental training or non-judgmental thinking. We want to make sure that we're very transparent to our players. If we show them respect, they respect us. If we show them that we're transparent, then they are more open to giving us information that we need to help them be successful. So in that intervention, in analyzing it, we understand how to give them different tools, different triggers for them to be successful. The positives of concentration are that if I can help you stay focused for 45 minutes, that's better than a 2-hour practice of just mediocrity. So in concentrating on what you're doing, I'd rather we go 45 minutes real hard to be productive than to be just 2 hours active. So in my philosophy, I always tell my players, I'd rather you be more, instead of just being active, let's be productive. We can be active for 2 hours, but we can be productive for 45 minutes. So let's go in here, get it in, go hard, and then let's get out of here and maintain what we look to do. So everything is game speed, everything is game pace. Everything that we do, whether it's warm up, whether it's exercise, whether it's conditioning, whether it's sidelines out of bounds, underneath out of bounds, dummy offense where we're going through the plays. Everything is game speed. Everything is game speed. So we got to understand game speed situations. We got to go hard every time. That way, our muscle memory is where it needs to be. We can simulate the concentration of understanding how our muscle memory should work in game and in game situations, and that transitions over to the game. So when we have those situations, like we had this last game, we went through a free throw simulation. In that free throw simulation, we said, okay, uh, we're down by one. They score the first one. They make the second one. We have 4.1 seconds left on the clock. We got to get down the court and score in 4.1 seconds. So we simulate a play that will be able to allow us to, after they score, we get the ball out of bounds, set some screens, get the ball to the middle, get the ball out to the corner. Guy drives to the basket, quick pass to the basket for an easy layup. So these game simulations help them build their confidence in what they can do, and they'll know what to expect if we're in that situation. So it helps us tremendously as far as how to train your body. Now, the limitations of this is you can only do so much simulating. You can only do it so many times, so many different ways. So you never know what to expect. So every situation is different. So if we run across a situation that can't be simulated, there's going to be on the spot or impromptu simulation that we're going to have to implement to make sure that we can give our players the best opportunity to be successful. The main goal or perspective of this is not to allow our players to have their own agenda. All our players need to be able to be on one accord. And in the article, in Martin's article, Motivating Your Athletes, this is very, very important as far as understanding how to give your athletes the best chance to be successful. And the psychological interventions to that are the basis or the foundation of how you get the best out of your athletes. You know, the players have to know that the coach is going to run through a wall for them. I'm not going to give you anything that's going to create or exhibit failure. The players have to understand, okay, the coach is doing everything in my best interest, and that I'll run through a wall for him if I know that he's all about me, if he's all about the team, if he's all about me being successful. So knowing and trusting yourself and others is a big part of that, and being a successful coach. So you have to be very transparent as a coach. You have to be understanding as a coach. Um, Integrity is very big in coaching. So if I uphold integrity, I expect integrity, I give respect to my players and expect respect in return, normally I will have a good outcome from those players. Um, you have to know who you are and set an example and allow your players to follow your lead. Um, and being transparent is a big part of that. So if I'm very transparent to my players, obviously they'll respond to what I need them to do. And if I have the knowledge of how to be successful, they'll respond even better. Uh, Sometimes you have to resolve conflict with your players. So I used to take the shark approach, um, my way or the highway, do it my way or no matter what. But now I like to take more of the owl approach, where you set goals together of high importance and priority to help the players and to help myself uh, to find a solution together. Not to be combative. It's not you versus me; it's us together to achieve certain goals. So the relationship between the players and myself has to be stronger, has to be better in order for each party to reach the common goal. I can't work against you and expect that we're going to see a goal together. It doesn't work that way. Communicating effectively is a big part of that as well. And with communication, it's huge in basketball. I have to listen, identify, relate, and then respond. So if I speak life and value into my players, um, their psyche to respond to my coaching style, especially if I'm coaching with positive influence, will be very productive for us to see results and see success. And finally, accepting and supporting others. So if I relate to players and sympathize with their situation, um, I can get more out of them, and that's the main thing. I want to make sure I get the most out of every player I have, and I can't do that if I don't hold their attention and psychologically intervene in what they have and what they're trying to accomplish.